Welcome back to Blondie and the Bald Guy. I'm Rachel.
I'm Mo. I guess I'm the bald guy. I'm embracing the bald guy thing.
I know. I love this. We talked with our dear friend Jim Scott and, decided that we wanted to brand this for the future. If this show goes on for another 3 years, we don't want to have to rethink our cute nicknames. So we just decided, stay on the path.
Jim Scott watches this?
He does.
That's my man.
I know.
That's my main man.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Shout out Jim Scott.
All right.
Okay, there's a lot of bad news this week, so we're going to try to keep it light with LaShawn McCoy.
Let's talk about tipping. LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
Okay? Philadelphia Eagles running back.
Correct.
Great player. Recently left on a restaurant bill that was more than $63. Left a 20-cent tip.
When I first heard about this and I heard that it was a 20-cent tip, I figured he must have just messed up and just put 2-0 and didn't put like the 2 zeros afterwards for a $20 tip.
Mm-hmm.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Then I saw the actual receipt. He did not mean to leave a $20 tip.
No, he meant to leave a 20-cent tip. And then he was asked about it because it showed up in a Philadelphia magazine. He was asked about it and he said, yeah, I left a 20-cent tip to basically send a message. What's the worst tip you've ever left?
Oh, I don't know. I always tip between 15 and 20, and usually 25 if it's like somebody that you want, like your hairdresser, your nail tech. You gotta tip them 25 just to keep them on the level.
I usually tip 20% and then round up to the nearest dollar.
Okay.
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 So that's what I do. But I am not beyond giving a really crappy tip, and I've done it before.
How many times have you done it? Do you think?
That I gave a cabbie in Philadelphia, nonetheless, a 20-cent tip. The ride was $59.80. He got lost. He was screaming on his phone as I was telling him where to go. He was blaring music. He was late picking us up. The bill came to the rate came to $59.80. I gave him $60. No problem with that whatsoever. I gave a tip at I gave a $1 tip at a Bob Evans once. Me and my grandma.
First of all, with your grandmother.
Of course, my grandma loves Bob Evans the way I love, IHOP. We go and the woman comes by and then we never see her. We wait. Just typical bad service. Screw it. $1 tip. I have no problem with that. Now, I was a server for like 2 years in high school and in college. Let me give you the who's who of who's a good tipper, who's a bad tipper, all right? Clyde Gray, Channel 9, awesome tipper. Ken Brew, Channel 9, terrible tipper. Andre Agassi, waited on him, gave me a $100 tip. Hector Carrasco dined and dashed on me.
Wow.
Yeah, Thomas Howard used to play for the Reds, gave me a $2 tip on a $35 meal. I know who's a good tipper, or I know who 20 years ago who was a good tipper and who's a bad tipper. You were under no obligation to leave a good tip. That tip has to be earned.
Okay. I don't know. I think if you're in the public eye, you have to be a little bit more careful because these things get out on the internet now. Mm-hmm. And you can't dine or dash. You can't leave 20-cent tips because then Charlie Sheen steps up and makes you look like a total douche.
Look, if you're in the public eye and you make like LaShawn McCoy money and you get really good service, really take care of them. But if you get bad service, sorry. Bad service should be punished. Bad service should be made an example of.
Is making an example of a bad waiter worth your reputation?
Yeah, I would have. Not that I have a reputation, and if I do, it's not good.
I have no comment.
But look, if the Bob Evans girl sucked, sorry, she did, and the total came to like $21. I gave her $1, and my grandma thought that was too much. Of course, she's in her 80s. Old people, my grandmother will get great service. She'll still give 35 cents. You don't know how many times I've had to backtrack and my grandmother get 35 cents. Here's a $5 bill. So I have no problem. Look, the tip is earned. It's extra. It's gratuity. Gratuity is thank you. It's a show of appreciation. It's a show of thanks. It's thanks for being a good server. Thanks for being a good bartender. Thanks for the good haircut. Thanks for the good service. Thanks for picking me up on time. It's thank you. You don't have to give a good tip, and you don't have to give a good tip just because you're famous.
So LaShawn is not a bad guy. That's
Hell no, he's not. He's got crap service. person decided to make a point. And you know what? That waiter or waitress will hopefully get the point and will now go overboard in his service or her service. I don't know what it was. That server will now be a better server. Sometimes in life, you got to learn a hard lesson. Sometimes in life, you got to take the pie to the face. Sometimes in life, you need to be kind of told, you need to have somebody who gives you the truth, who talks to you direct, who teaches you a hard lesson, and you apply it to the rest of your life. This person will hopefully do that with a crappy tip.
I love how you got all of this out of a tip.
Oh, look, and I was a great server, by the way. I was a fantastic server. I got crappy tips. That was on them. But if I did a bad job and I got a bad tip, that's on me. I was a great server. Hell, I should go back to being a server. I made good dough. I got good tips.
Okay.
You've never been a waiter, waitress?
No, never.
Bartender?
No.
Barback?
Nothing.
Hostess?
No, I always worked in clothing stores, and you've seen my wardrobe, so that totally makes sense.
Yes, I think everybody at least once should work in the restaurant, the food and beverage industry. I mean, because it teaches you about dealing with people. You get to see the really crappy end of people, both in the industry and in the customers. I mean, there's nothing worse than a hangry woman, you know. I mean, there's nothing worse than a hangry woman who wants her food now. Ain't nothing worse. It prepares you for life.
Can we talk about the Speedo picture you sent me? Or do we want to save that for another time?
No, my friend Rich Wahlberg went to a Miami Dolphins game this week.
We love Rich. Hi,
Rich is our guy. Went to a Miami Dolphins game this week, and he sent me this photo. Ah! Like that, people wore that. They wore that to the game.
I wish they could wear those Speedos up here.
Oh no! Like it's bad enough.
That would make tailgating way more interesting.
A foam finger guy and stormtrooper guy. We don't need Speedo guy at Bengals games.
If Speedo guy looks like that Speedo guy, yes, we do.
What if should I wear a Speedo to this week's Bengals Falcons tilt?
It might be a little cold.
It's somewhere in September. It's the middle of September. It'd be warm. Don't wear a Speedo. Don't wear a Speedo to a game. Thank you, Rich, for the photo. It was horrific. And I gotta say this. Rich is my best friend, but kind of creepy being the dude taking the photo of the guy in the Speedo.
I would send you that picture too, probably.
All right.
All right. Is that it?
That's all we have. Tweet you at Rachel700WLW.
Yes.
You can tweet me.
Yeah, we can tweet you too.
At Moegger1530. Thank you for watching Blondie and the Bald Guy on ESPN1530.com.